Chapter 44. After this, Joseph ordered the steward of his house, "Fill the sacks that these men brought with as much food as they can carry, and put each man's money at the mouth of his sack. And in the mouth of the sack belonging to the youngest brother, put my silver cup along with the money he paid for his food." The steward did everything as Joseph had commanded. Early in the morning, Joseph's brothers set out on their journey with their donkeys. When they had left the city but had not gone far, Joseph said to his steward, "Go quickly after those men. When you catch up with them, say this: 'Why have you repaid good with evil? Why did you steal my master's silver cup? He uses this cup to drink and to divine. What you did was a crime.'" When the steward caught up with them and repeated Joseph's words, they replied, "Why are you speaking like this, sir? We would never do such a thing. We brought back to you from the land of Canaan the money we found at the mouth of our food sacks. So why would we steal silver or gold from your master's house? If the cup is found with any of us, let him be put to death, and the rest of us will become your slaves." "I agree with you," the steward said, "but only the one with whom the cup is found will be my slave. The others may go free." Then they quickly lowered their sacks to the ground, and each man opened his own. The steward searched, beginning with the oldest and ending with the youngest, and the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. Then they tore their clothes in grief, loaded their donkeys again, and returned to the city. When Judah and his brothers came to Joseph's house, he was still there. They fell to the ground before him. Joseph said to them, "What have you done? Don't you know that a man like me can surely divine?" Judah replied, "What can we say, my lord? How can we defend ourselves? How can we prove our innocence? God has uncovered our guilt. We are now your slaves, we and the one who had the cup." Joseph said, "Far be it from me to do such a thing. Only the man who had the cup will be my slave. The rest of you, go back in peace to your father." Then Judah came close to Joseph and said, "Please, my lord, let me speak openly to you. Do not be angry with me, for you are like the king himself. You asked us, 'Do you have a father or another brother?' We answered, 'We have an old father and a younger brother born to him in his old age. His brother is dead, and he alone is left of his mother's children. His father loves him very much. Then you told us to bring the boy to you so you could see him. He said, 'The boy cannot leave his father. If he leaves, his father will die.' But you said, 'If your youngest brother does not come down with you, you will not see me again.' When we went back to our father, we told him everything you had said. Later our father told us to return and buy a little more food. We said, 'We cannot go down unless our youngest brother goes with us. We'll not be received by the man unless our youngest brother is with us.' Then our father said, 'You know that my wife Rachel bore me 2 sons. One is gone from me. I never saw him again. Surely he was torn by wild animals. And if you take this one also from me, and some harm comes to him, you will bring my gray head down to the grave in sorrow. Now, my lord, if I go back to my father, the boy is not with us. Since his life is so closely tied to the boy's, he will die when he sees that the boy is not there. We would be responsible for bringing the sorrow that kills our old father. Also, I guaranteed to my father that I would be responsible for the boy. I told him, if I do not bring him back to you, I will bear the blame before you for the rest of my life. So now, please let me stay here as your slave instead of the boy. Let him go back with his brothers." Chapter 45. Joseph could no longer control his emotion in front of his servants, so he shouted, "Everyone, leave now." So none of the servants were there when Joseph told his brothers who he was. He began to cry so loudly that the Egyptians heard, and the news reached the palace of the king. Joseph said to his brothers, "I am Joseph. Is my father still alive?" When the brothers heard this, they were so shocked that they could not say anything. Joseph said, "Please come closer to me." They came closer, and he continued, "I am your brother Joseph, the one you sold to be brought to Egypt. Now do not be sad or angry with yourselves for having sold me to be brought here. It was to save lives that God sent me ahead of you. There have already been 2 years of famine in the world, and there will be 5 more years in which no one will plow the land or harvest. God sent me ahead of you so that He, in a wonderful way, could save your lives here in this country and guarantee that you will have descendants. Therefore it was not you who sent me here, but God. He made me the highest minister to the king. I take care of his palace, and I am the governor of all Egypt. Now go quickly back home and tell my father that his son Joseph says the following: God made me governor of all Egypt. Come see me soon, do not delay. You will live in the region of Goshen and will be near you, your children, your grandchildren, your sheep, your goats, your cattle, and everything you have. The famine will last 5 more years, and in Goshen I will provide food for you, your family, and your animals. That way you will not lack anything. All of you and Benjamin, my brother, can see that it is really me, Joseph, who is speaking. Tell my father how powerful I am here in Egypt. Tell him everything you have seen. Hey, hurry and bring my father here. Joseph hugged his brother Benjamin and began to cry. Holding Joseph, Benjamin also cried. Then, still crying, Joseph hugged and kissed each of his brothers. After this, the brothers began to talk with him. The news that Joseph's brothers had come reached the palace of the king of Egypt, and he and his officials were pleased with this. The king said to Joseph, "Tell your brothers to load the animals and return to the land of Canaan, and bring their father and their families to me. I will give them the best lands in Egypt, and they will eat the finest products of this country. Tell your brothers to take carts from Egypt to bring their women, their small children, and also their father. And do not worry about leaving behind what they have, for the best of Egypt will be theirs." Jacob's sons did this. Joseph gave them carts, as the king had ordered, and food for the journey. He also gave them new clothes. But to Benjamin, he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 sets of clothes. For his father, Joseph sent 10 donkeys loaded with the best things of Egypt and 10 donkeys loaded with wheat, bread, and other supplies for the journey. The brothers said goodbye, and when they were leaving, Joseph advised, "Do not quarrel on the way." They left Egypt, and when they arrived in Canaan, they went to the house of Jacob, their father. Then they said to him, "Joseph is alive, father. He is the governor of all Egypt." Jacob almost fainted and could not believe it. But when they told him everything Joseph had said, and when he saw the carts that had been sent to carry him to Egypt, Jacob became very excited and said, "That is enough. My son Joseph is still alive. I want to see him before I die." Chapter 46. Jacob left with everything he had and went to Beersheba, where he offered sacrifices to the God of Isaac, his father. That night God spoke to him in a vision and called him, "Jacob. Jacob, I am here. I am God, the God of your father. Do not be afraid to go to Egypt, for there I will make your descendants into a great nation. I will go to Egypt with you and bring your descendants back to this land, and when you die, Joseph will be at your side." Then Jacob left Beersheba, the carts the king of Egypt had sent. The sons of Jacob took their father, their wives, and their little children. Jacob and all his people went to Egypt, taking their cattle and all the things they had acquired in Canaan. Jacob took with him all his descendants, that is, sons and daughters, grandsons and granddaughters. The Israelites who went to Egypt, that is, Jacob and his descendants, are as follows: Reuben, Jacob's oldest son, and the sons of Reuben, Enoch, Palu, Hezron, Carmi. Simeon and his sons, Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Yakin, Zohar, and Shaul, who was the son of a Canaanite woman. Levi and his sons, Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. Judah and his sons, Shelah, Perez, and Zerah. The other 2 sons, and Onan, had died in Canaan. The sons of Perez were Hezron and Hamuel, Issachar and his sons, Tola, Pua, Jashub, and Shimron. Zebulon and his sons, Sard, Elon, and Jaleel. These were the sons that Leah gave to Jacob in Mesopotamia, along with their daughter Dinah. The descendants of Jacob and Leah were 33. Gada and his sons, Zephon, Hegi, Shuni, Isbon, Eri, Arodi, and Areli. Asher and his sons, Imnah, Ishva, Ishvi, and Beriah, and their sister, who was named Sarah. The sons of Beriah were Heber and Malchiel. These 16 were the descendants of Jacob and Zilpah, a slave woman that Laban gave to his daughter Leah. Rachel, Jacob's wife, had given him 2 sons, Joseph and Benjamin. The sons of Joseph with Asenath were Manasseh and Ephraim, who were born in Egypt. Asenath was the daughter of Potiphera, priest of the city of Heliopolis. The sons of Benjamin were Bala, Becher, Ashbel, Jerah, Naaman, Ehi, Rosh, Mupim, Hapim, and Ard. These 14 were the descendants of Jacob and Rachel. Dan and his son Hashem, Naphtali and his sons, Jaziel, Guni, Yezer, and Shillem. These 7 were the descendants of Jacob and Bilhah, the slave woman that Laban gave to his daughter Rachel. Altogether, 66 direct descendants of Jacob went to Egypt, not counting the wives of his sons. The 2 sons of Joseph were born in Egypt, so the total number of people in Jacob's family who went to Egypt was 70. Jacob sent Judah ahead to ask Joseph to meet them in Goshen. When they arrived, Joseph had his chariot prepared and went to Goshen to meet his father. When they met, Joseph embraced him and cried in his arms for a long time. Then Jacob said, "Now I can die, now that I have seen you and know you are alive." Then Joseph said to his brothers and to the family of his father, "I will speak to the king of Egypt and tell him that my brothers and the family of my father, who were living in Canaan, have come to live with me. I will tell the king that you are shepherds of sheep and goats, and that you take care of cattle. I will say that you brought your sheep, cattle, and everything you own. When the king asks what your occupation is, say that your whole life you have been shepherds, just like your ancestors were. In this way, you will be able to live in the region of Goshen, because the Egyptians despise shepherds."